Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Konnichiwa. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Viqi Muhammad. My nickname is Viqi. I'm from University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. I'm born in Central Java, Indonesia, and now I live in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Now I'm on my third years of study. I study in Japanese language education study program. This year, I'm in the position the head chairman of the student association study program organization called Nikigaka, Nihongo Kyoiku Gakuseikai. Actually, about my hobbies is anything about football, watching football, playing football, or game football, anything about football. Okay, at this moment I will share to you about the growth of ramen enthusiasts in Indonesia. Okay, yes. Point of okay, this is point of my presentation. Wait a second. First, I will talk about ramen in Japan, then ramen in Indonesia, then how ramen became popular in Indonesia, then food that similar like ramen in Indonesia, and last my homemade ramen. Okay. Okay, first talk about ramen in Japan. It's just intermezzo. Okay. Ramen is the one of Japanese dish in Japanese culinary industry because ramen have a tasteful broth. Also, the price are cheap, as we know it. As we know, ramen was first introduced to Japan by Chinese immigrants in the late 19th century or early 20th century. According to record of the Yokohama Ramen Museum, ramen originated in China and was introduced in Japan since 1859. The earliest version of ramen was with noodles, which were braised with Chinese-style roast pork. Okay, and then ramen in Indonesia. Okay, currently ramen is one of the most popular Japanese dish in Indonesia. Many restaurants in Indonesia serving ramen as their own menu. Some even combine ramen with Indonesia specialties food. Okay, it's been a years ago. Ramen experiencing a growing popularity, as evidenced by the increasing number of culinary business people who choose ramen as their business. That's many example ramen in Indonesia. Then I want to talk about ramen culture in Indonesia. In my opinion, ramen culture become easily grow in Indonesia are influenced by the entry of Japanese culture through Japanese drama and anime, because we are often to show the scene, show us the character are going to its ramen. Okay, anime TV serialization Naruto pick up eating ramen scene. Naruto TV animation are the one influence ramen culture in Indonesia. Yes, anime Naruto is very popular in Indonesia. The main character often eat ramen, right? Yeah, okay. Maybe in Malaysia too. And then, does ramen in Indonesia does not have the same flavor as the authentic Japanese ramen? Okay, this is interesting. I want talk about this statement, or many people in Indonesia is think about it. Okay, but of course, ramen in Indonesia does not have the same flavor as the authentic Japanese ramen. The loss of authenticity of the authentic Japanese ramen in Indonesia cannot be separated from the adjustment efforts made by culinary business. People saw that ramen can be accepted in Indonesia. For example, this story has been experienced by one of Japanese restaurant in Indonesia, which brought the distinctive taste of Japanese rice bowl dish. But unfortunately, it does not fit the Indonesian tongue. Okay, from there, research was carried out. What spice can be used and uh, which cannot be used. What are the topping and flavor that Indonesian could accept it? For example, in Indonesia, it is very rare to receive pork toppings. Indian, many ramen use chicken or beef toppings. Then a global menu concept emerged that could be accepted by the whole world. But for Indonesia, the test is still made locally. And Indonesia people need something with the strong flavor. That's why there is an Indonesia saying that if you eat without MSG, it would not taste good. Okay, um, maybe in other country too, because Southeast Asia Tenggara tongue is uh, taste, yeah, yeah, sip. Okay, then uh, okay, I'll talk about foods that similar with ramen in Indonesia. Okay, this is interesting too. Okay, first mie ayam, as called chicken noodle. Okay, chicken noodle consists of a bowl of noodles topped with chopped chicken stew, boiled mustard greens, onions, meatballs, and dumplings. These noodles can be served with broth or dry. Okay, yes, similar ramen, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, and the second is bakmi Jawa rebus, or boiled Javanese noodles. Bakmi Jawa ingredients are made of yellow noodles, chicken meat, chicken broth, uh, green mustard greens, and pecans. Okay, the noodles are cooked on a clay stove and a charcoal fire like this. Okay, and the last I want to talk about my homemade ramen. Yeah, this is I think my homemade ramen, which I often made, and usually I using instant noodles, eggs, and maybe my mustard greens. Although it's not as delicious as ramen, but because it's cheap and easy to cook and easy to find the ingredients. Okay. Okay, at this time my presentation are done. Thank you for listening. I'm Vicky. Have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum.